Hi, Lisa Workman here, clinical exercise physiologist and kinesiologist. I'm here today in my lovely backyard, here to show you 9, count them, 9 isometric resistance exercises that you can do at the wall. Now, I chose to come outside because it's stunning outside, but also I'm going to use my fence. The other thing that you need for this exercise workout is a towel, beach towel, bath towel, something that you can roll up and turn into a bolster-like piece of equipment. So if you can grab that right now, we'll head right into those exercises. So my first exercise, we are going to use the towel. So as you can see, it's a fairly nice large bath towel, beach towel. We're going to fold it up to make it into a roll. And that's what's going to help stabilize the 2 leg bones as we're coming into a wall sit. So I'm at a fence sit, but a wall sit. Come back to our space here. I'm going to take this towel now and bring it between my thighs as I feel for the wall, slightly bringing my feet forward. Now, you probably could hear the rustle of my leaves. I'm standing in leaves, but of course, if you're inside at a wall, you're going to have no problems at all finding that foot placement. So it's at your discretion as how far you want to sit down. If you wanted to come even a little bit further, the act of holding this position is what's putting it as an isometric exercise. The towel is here to allow my 2 leg bones to come together. So I'm sitting down, bracing through the tops of my thighs, but I'm also engaging my inner thighs as I press gently into this towel. And then guess what? You hold. That's what isometric exercises are all about. It's putting that muscle under tension and then holding it there. So here is the first exercise, really good for strengthening your legs as you hold yourself here in a wall sit. The second exercise in this series of 9 isometric exercises is for the muscle in the front of the shoulder. We're going to take our arm and bring it at a 90-degree angle. And what the wall does is acts as an external resistance. So what I'm going to do, I'll show you on the profile here because you can see this edge. I'm going to press my hand into the wall or into this piece of wood. So the action is actively pressing the arm forward and that wall is then resisting you, which causes you to have an isometric contraction. So I would come to my wall. You can see from behind, I'm going to press my hand into the wall and it is static. I am just holding it there, but I'm getting full engagement of the front of my shoulder. And then of course, as you can imagine, you would want to do the other side. Again, putting that muscle under tension without moving the joint. It's a really nice way to strengthen the front of the shoulder. As an exercise 2, we brought the arm to a nice 90-degree angle. We were working the front of the shoulder, but now the third exercise is all about the back of the shoulder. So you're going to wonder, how am I going to do this again? I'm not going to push forward. In fact, you're going to push back. So the elbow is what's going to be making contact with the wall. So to give you a side profile view here, I'll come bring my arm to 90 degrees. I'll be standing at my wall. I'm going to be pressing back into the wall actively. So the action is coming this way. The force is being pushed into the wall. I'll give you a face-on version here. You could even do both arms at the same time if you want. You could come to here, bring both arms in, and then press both elbows back. Kind of a 2-for-1 here, where we can get both of the rear deltoids contracting, and then we're holding them under tension. The longer you hold this, you can imagine the more your muscle is going to fatigue. So gauge how long the hold is best for you. For exercise number 4, we're going to move back into the lower body. We're going to work on the outside of the hips, our hip abductors to be precise. What we will do is position ourselves at the wall so that we're beside the wall. We'll bring the leg all the way snug right into the wall so you could feel the wall at your foot. And then the inside arm is also going to be against the wall at that nice 90-degree angle. As we stand here nice and tall, we're going to press equally out into both legs. But guess what? The feet don't move. They stay positioned where they are, and you simply press into the wall. There'll be more pressure with the wall, of course, but you can also still feel the action happening on the outside of this outside leg. So we have both legs working at the same time. Bonus, if you want to add the arm exercise in, we can do a little shoulder abduction as well. So the arm that is close into that wall, you might also want to press in as you try to draw those legs out apart from one another. So 2 for 1, maybe 3 for 1. You got 2 legs, 1 arm working in this exercise at the wall. As I showed you in exercise 4, you could add on a shoulder exercise, that drawing out of the arm into the wall. Well, exercise number 5 is that concentrated effort on that movement. So we can I'll come to the half wall to begin with. You can see again that 90-degree angle, and you can press your arm into the wall. Again, coming to the side view, my inside arm is what is pressing into the wall. Now this is just the arm pressing in. The other arm can relax. It's just one arm at a time. This allows us to target more the middle or the midline of the shoulder joint. Again, we're pushing against the wall, putting the muscle under tension, which is actually an isometric contraction. Grab that towel again. We're going to use it for our next exercise, which is going to target the front of the thighs, essential muscle for helping us getting up and down out of chairs every single day. We'll come to place ourselves right at the wall. The folded towel is going to come underneath the leg, just above the knee joint. So to give you a profile, that is what it would look like. Coming against. Now, as we stand here, our feet are slightly away from that wall. And the action is simply pressing the towel into the wall. So I'm contracting the front of my thigh as I push that towel into the wall. So the towel is there not only for comfort, but it's also there to act as more resistance or surface to push through. So I'm straightening, and then maybe I hold, and then I sort of bend into that knee and relax. So pressing in, really pressing that leg against that towel, feeling the engagement, maybe feel a little bit of that kneecap lifting. We're getting engagement of the front of the thigh, and then we release. Now, of course, this is a one-legged only exercise, so you're not going to be able to do both legs at the same time. Unless you have a humongous towel, which you probably don't have. So best to focus on one side at a time, let one leg do its work, and then switch to the other side. Exercise number 7 is all about the shoulder blade. So if you do have any concerns with a rotator cuff injury, you might want to just heed caution for this exercise. We're taking our arm, it's going to slide back behind our back. Yes, so taking it down here. The action then is pressing the palm back into the wall. So I'll give you a side profile here at this half wall I've got. Taking my other hand back behind in the small of my back, I'm going to press my hand into the wall. So a little bit of action for that shoulder blade and the rotator cuff, one of the muscles of the rotator cuff. Now, coming into the wall, you can decide how much pressure that you apply into that hand. Because of course, the more you press, the more force you're generating into the wall. And as we know, any pressure or any force applied to one thing is going to apply an equal force back. So you decide how much pressure you're going to press. So this is for the muscle that resides underneath the shoulder blade. And so holding it in that isometric contraction gives it a chance to really connect and contract. So again, heed caution with this exercise. It is a really valuable one, but one we need to work on carefully. Our second last exercise is another one with the towel. This exercise is going to work on the muscles that run the length of your spine. They allow you to straighten up against gravity. So we'll take the towel and we're going to place it against the wall. It's going to be situated behind our head. And then from there, we're going to slightly lift our hips up and away from the wall to allow ourselves to go into what is called back extension or spinal extension. So take a look here. I'm going to take the towel over here to my fence. I'm going to place it at about head height, and I can turn around and get myself positioned so that I have my head against that towel. I'm going to let my feet walk slightly forward, so I'm a little bit forward. And then the action is driven from the hips. We're going to press our hips forward, which allows our spine to come into a bit of extension. So we're arching that spine just a little bit, and then we would lower back down. So it's in that hold that this becomes an isometric contraction of our spine. So we're holding this here. Be very cautious about what's going on about your head. You want to keep that gaze looking forward. Hence, I'm not looking at the camera right now, so that I keep my gaze forward as I draw my hips up. And then again, I can slowly release down. Although this might look like quite a simple movement, it is a strong contraction through the muscles that run up and down the spine and allow us to extend our back backwards. So a towel is really nice to have as a cushion, but also to add a little bit of added resistance that we have to push into. The squirrel agrees. Be cautious with this exercise. It can give you great value at the wall. Our last exercise in this series of 9 isometric exercises is the beloved plank. Everybody loves a good plank. And so in this exercise, we're going to use the wall to our advantage. Now, the more we stand up in this plank at the wall, the easier it's going to be. So just be really cognizant of where your feet land underneath you, which is what's going to add that challenge. So I'm going to come to the half wall to start with, just to give you a side profile. I like the idea of using these forearms to rest on, and we'll come here, we'll let those forearms sit. As I let my feet come out to the side, I'm coming into that plank. Plank is kind of one of the most well-known isometric exercises. We're putting the abdominals under strain as we only have 4 points of contact to hold us there. So, as you can imagine, when you're at the wall, it's going to look just a tiny bit different. You'll have a full connection. You can even place the palms of the hands against the boards of the fence or on your wall. And then as I step back, I'm going to try to keep my shoulders stacked over top of my elbows, allowing myself to come into a nice long line. Be careful not to let the head hang or move back. Try to keep it a nice long line, an extension from your whole entire spine. Again, quite popular exercise. Most of you probably know the plank already, but it's a nice exercise to finish off kind of these 9 series of isometric exercises, get a little bit more work through the middle, and finish off your workout with a bang. Thank you so much for staying on this whole time. Hopefully those 9 exercises have intrigued you, making you think a little bit more about isometric exercises. I've had a little fun dance with the light here today, so hopefully you could catch most of the movements. If you need that extra support, I do have an extra PDF handout that has photos of these exercises as well as descriptions, so you're more than welcome to download that for yourself as a supportive tool. I can imagine being outside and having the reflection of the light may have caught me a couple bad angles, so you may not have totally seen it, whereas in these pictures you'll be able quite easily to see how this works. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave me a comment below. Tell me, what is your favorite of these exercises? And if you have a favorite, is it new to you? Because I really like that rotator cuff exercise, the one against the wall. That one is a new one for me, but it makes total sense that would be a great way to challenge that shoulder blade against the wall. Again, my name is Lisa Workman, clinical exercise physiologist and kinesiologist, bringing you ways to be physically active in your own home, simply with a towel and a wall. Keep on moving. I'm here to support you in your physical activity. They're here, yeah, I can see. Here, I'll push pause. My lighting's changing. Okay.